Hello, everyone. We are going to start our demo hours. Today, we are going to show how to debug normalization, handle the problems, uh, change the code, and you can deploy the connector on that version and also submit a pull request to the project and contribute with the code. If anyone has a question, you can send on chat, you can participate too, you can enter and we can discuss. But the idea today, we are going to show a lot of things. So we're going to be more quick in show how we can do that. Right now I have like a simple setup of Airbyte instance, and I go to deploy connector. So just a second. Here, insert my credentials. And I already set up a simple Postgres destination. And I'm going to sync this pipe drive connector to destination. So here is going to create our connection. So we can choose this. The idea here is pipe drive. And we can select these options here. And apply basic normalization. Go here, is going to start syncing our data. So we are using like the pipe drive 1.2 version. It's very quick to get the data. The process I'm going to show you today is not super is easy to do, but it's not super straightforward to understand and solve that. So right now, the normalization process failed, and I don't know why we choose a yellow color, but we see that the pipe drive use SCD table failed because trying to convert a type of timestamp, and in our table or in our data, we got this record. So this is not like a timestamp. What we can do is to check the output of normalization run locally, change that, and see the raw data in our database. And after we can change the normalization code, and with that, we can run again, and this is going to show us if the modification is correct or not. So right now, here I have my database. We can see brings all the data to the destination, but there is a missing table here. That's the pipe drive views and pipe drive SCD. To bring the normalization code to the local, we need to get the workspace. This number here is the 14. We can execute docker cp, and we get from the Airbyte server, this, the container, and the temp workspace, and now we need to get from the 14. So if we see here, I have like a simple folder, the pipe drive folder, and now we have the all normalization that Airbyte made to run, and we can add it here. So this is something that we need to read on our documentations to understand how Airbyte runs and generate these SQL files. But the last one is the tables, and we need to add it the CTAs, which are files that change the data types, create some hashes, and this process gonna involve. The involved we got in our run is the views, so we need to check that file. We can see that we have like 3 files here. The first one is extracting the data from the raw tables. So it's not this one here because it's only extracting the data. And the second one, we can see there is a macros from dbt and it's converting the data. So this is we need to change to check and solve our problems. You don't need to understand all the macros dbt has. Probably gonna make a documentation, and the idea is maybe if you have a problem with type, like an integer, you need to convert to a broader data type. Like if you are trying to use int, you convert to a number, so it's probably gonna work. And our problem now is because we are supporting data types and in our normalization, and sometimes the schema is not a timestamp, so we need to correct the schema to run normalization adequately. So the idea here is only to get the idea what column is causing the problem. So what we're gonna do is change this timestamp macro from dbt, and we are gonna change to convert all columns to string. So our process is going to run. So I change all the timestamps to string, and I'm going to enter here. I already on a PyEnv environment with dbt, so I can run with dbt run profiles here, and this is simulating as the Airbyte sync job was doing, but running as locally. So we run our model, but changing all the types to string, and our dbt model run correctly. What you can do now is go into our destination database, see that table that got problems, and check some rows. So here we get all of the data, but we see that some columns are timestamped, so we don't need to change all of them to string. We can keep that to date type or timestamp to be more beneficial to do some analysis. But we can debug here and probably gonna find the problem. So here, if we come back here, we got this one, invalid input syntax is this value. And if you go here on the database, we got this column as a wrong timestamp format. So this is the column, and we can dive into the data and see that is another column with the problem. So this is two columns we need to correct. So what I do now is to convert all again to timestamp, because it's good to keep that. But I'm gonna only change to string the wrong ones. Is the next activity time, and also the duration. So I'm gonna save that and run dbt again. And again, our project runs correctly. We can refresh and see the data. And now the tables that are timestamp are converted correctly, and that column was converted to a string, which is the time. What we can do right now is correct the schema. So with that, we can submit a change to Airbyte project. So here I have a Airbyte project on a folder. We can go into Airbyte integrations, find the source pipe drive, go into the schemas, and we had problems with deals. The idea here is to change the two fields with problems. Was the next activity time. So this one here, I need to change to only string, and also the duration, which is here. With that, we can build the connector dev version. Oops. And we can test that on our Airbyte instance to run again and see if everything is okay. When the connector is built, I'm gonna purge all my tables here, so we can run a fresh sync. Oh. So all the tables were so we built the dev version of the connector, and we can go into the settings, our sources, and we can change that to dev version. Okay, now our sync is going to run with the dev version of the connector. And one important thing is Airbyte keep the catalog. So we need to update the schema. So one thing we need to go here and update to latest schema. We can see here also if the next activity is bringing as a string and duration also as a string. I think is going to be run correctly. So save, and we need to reset the data. This is a reset. Okay, and now we are going to run our sync using the pipe drive connector on the dev version. We can see here that there is information. We are using the pipe drive dev version. And our sync runs successfully on the Airbyte web UI. After that, we can go here in the Airbyte project. We can and we can submit a pull request. So this is a way you can help the community, because connectors change the schema with very frequent, or you want to add a new field and you want to test that locally. This is a good way. Or you want to add a new stream on your source. And right now we are improving the Airbyte to handle date types, to have a better conversion to specific types on the destinations. And this needs to correct some schemas in sources. And there is a lot of issues happening about that to API sources. And having this walkthrough can help users debugging and improving. Also contributing to the project, so feel free to submit a pull request and we can review that. There is any questions about the process? Feel free to send on chat, or you can enter in the room to talk about it. I think I can continue, and probably gonna, for someone who doesn't work with normalization, you're gonna, how can I say no to change the macros? And my idea is to build a documentation showing to anyone who want to do this process what's the correct change you need to do to run the normalization, and if that is only a date conversion problem. And right now the main one is the timestamp with time zone. You convert to string, that's the maximum date type, and probably gonna should work with that. And other cases is like an integer, so you are trying to cast a float, and the schema is using an int. So you're gonna change that to float or maybe to number, and you can run the DBT project, and with that update the schema. But you need to this is the way that I found to check and get what column is causing the problem. probably gonna be much more easy if we can find when running dbt here, but unfortunately this is a dbt log, so we don't have this knowledge. But this is something that we can do and find to correct the problem. So now, after we run the last time, we got the pipe drive views and pipe drive views SCD table, and those should be on the correct. So it's a var char or string, and we have the update time and other timestamps. I think I finished what I had to show to you, and feel free to send questions on the chat or go into the Slack channel and request help on the troubleshooting channel. And I think that's it. Bye, everyone. See ya.